In a dazzling dance with nature and visionary policy implementation, over a mere decade, Rwanda has become the epitome of hosting finesse. From holding world-class business conferences, investment summits, science forums to mega entertainment concerts, Rwanda has become a maestro, hosting one awe-inspiring event after another, redefining the standards of success in the MICE realm in Africa and leaving an indelible mark globally.
My wife and I are delighted to be with you all here in Rwanda for this 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. I'd particularly like to thank President Kagame and the people of Rwanda for the most impressive preparations they have made, and can only applaud Rwanda's determination and patience in ensuring our gathering is successful.
So preparations are hard work for any of these big events, but I have a lot of confidence in the government of Rwanda's ability to pull these events off. We've seen them do big conferences before and they worked really well.
If you look at what we've done in terms of security, in terms of cleanliness, in terms of investment in infrastructure, really, when someone comes from the airport, they can get a cab, they can go to a hotel of their choice. There are different budget aspects from 5-star all the way down.
At the moment, we have so many teams that are applying to come from UK to come and play in Rwanda, and we are selling these facilities to them.
Design and view, I don't think you're going to find a much better stadium in the world. I mean, look at it.
A mere decade ago, Rwanda was an unlikely contender for world-class events. In under 10 years, it has transformed into a thriving hub of MICE excellence, and its compelling story demands attention.
We have to go back to 2014, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, when the decision was taken to put in place a strategy, a national strategy for the MICE industry. And we bring around the table all the different stakeholders, being the RDB in charge of tourism and events, be our national airline, Rwandan, which is now serving various capital cities around the world, be it our security organ, be the private sector, which is the one managing, all these hospitality establishments, restaurants, and so on. Behind that strategy is also clear policies that have opened our destination, meaning open visa policy, having a safe destination, having a clean destination, having the right hotels and hospitality establishments, having also the right infrastructure, from the convention center to today the basketball arena, the BK Arena, which was the host of the FIFA summit. Next year we'll have the largest stadium in East Africa, a 45,000 seater, and with that we'll be able to welcome more and more bigger events and position Rwanda as a destination on the continent. Before that, we were not even in the top 10 on the continent. Today we are the number 2 after Cape Town.
The success and the follow-through of Rwanda's MICE focus. We've all been aligned from private sector to government to RCB to RDB in terms of MICE and focusing on the MICE business and all working together as one unit, selling the destination first and foremost.
A lot of what we're seeing is part and parcel of what we had planned, and for us that is very fulfilling. All of these things happening in a space that is really starting to impact the economy. We're starting to see some decent economic impact through this venue. We have possibly hosted close to 300, if not over 300 events in this venue ever since we took over. And I must mention that's coming out of COVID, which is a huge achievement.
If we look at just last year, Rwanda has hosted the Commonwealth Heads of States Summit in 2022. I mentioned the FIFA Summit. We had great sports events from BAL to Giants of Africa. We are in the run for Global Citizen with Kendrick Lamar. You can see clearly that whether it's business conferences, world-class business conferences, world-class sports events, or world-class entertainment events, they are hosted here in Kigali.
At the moment, across the continent, you probably got 3 or 4 venues that can actually do what BK Arena is doing. We need this infrastructure. We need that foundational element that is going to allow us to move our industry from where we are today to where we want to be.
Over the past 10 years, the mice industry has grown steadily. And one of the highlights of 2023 was Women Deliver Conference, which attracted more than 6,000 visitors from abroad, and which means great benefits for our industry in terms of, accommodation options, restaurant, and entertainment, and so on. But it wasn't just Women Deliver. We also had the World Travel and Tourism Council, which was hosted in Kigali for the first time in Africa, and which was a highlight not just for Rwanda, but really for the continent.
And it's a strong vote of confidence for WTTC to hold a summit here. And to shine a light on what the potential is, how far we've come and how far we can go. So bringing the world to Rwanda, to the continent, is very exciting, and we hope we'll see the ripple effects going forward.
I think it's an honor for us to host it in Kigali at the KCC and the Radisson Blue Hotel. So representing the private sector for over 30 years globally, I think it's an honor for us to host them, and more so as a country. So, and on top of that, it's huge exposure for us throughout the world that we are ready to host MICE business going forward.
And I think the ability now for us to take international artists and bring them closer to the Rwandan market just means that our local economy can interact with people who have been doing it for 30, 40 years.
To secure Rwanda's prominent position in the international market, strategic capital infusion into promising domains has been a game-changing move.
With regards to the investment, it was $103 million invested into building the BK Arena. As of today, we are roughly in the region of about $50 to $60 million of economic impact that this arena has created. And so if you weigh that up against the cost of building it, you're almost about 60% of your way through of repaying this building. This is an institution that can easily become a key contributor to the economy. Talking in the region of 10 billion on an annual basis. Those figures are not heard anywhere across the continent.
Hence, last year we had a record year working together with RCB, RDB as one unit, focusing on destination. This year, we are currently 14% up on last year. So it's just getting better and better. Next year is going to be another year, but we'll cross the bridge when we get there.
The key takeaway for me is how hopeful everybody is in terms of tourism and travel. We're seeing this sector growing going forward. Everybody's very hopeful about the growth, how important this travel and tourism is to the economies of different countries. On a general basis, you're filling up 3 to 4 hotels in the city. You've got vehicles that are moving people around consistently. If they're here for a week, you've got dinner nights every week, and that is impacting restaurants that are in the city. You go down to the working operation of it. You've got event managers, you've got sound suppliers with their technicians. And I think when you start looking at it in that way, the long-term impact is significant because you are actively generating this economy.
And I'll give you a perfect example. When we hosted Women Deliver, we had 6,500 ladies here for a period of 4 days. How much chicken do you think we ordered for those 4 days? 2.6 tons. That came from Bugesera. Okay, so it was local produced. 95% of our purchasing food products is local. So the food chain goes through quite deeply.
And amidst these achievements, the sector has remained aligned with the nation's commitment to sustainability.
There's a major focus on that as an industry, because as we know, sustainability is one of the boxes we have to tick, particularly focusing on the mice business, because whether it is a DMC, whether it is an organization coming through, they're asking, what are you doing for sustainability? We have to be a step ahead.
By being one step ahead, the mice industry has sustained itself through exogenous shocks, be it the COVID-19 pandemic or global economic downturn.
It's a tough one, but it's not easy for any industry, for any company, any individual running a business at the moment. And count and block those as we go along. Obviously, ultimately, at the end of the day, if prices go up or fuel goes up, then everything else goes up. So we have to transfer those costs across to the consumer. But in doing that, we've got to deliver the service that they are 200% satisfied. It's proven over the number of years through COVID, where everybody pulled together. It is resilient, it will sustain and push through.
To push through and get ahead, in a pivotal role, Rwanda Air is actively working towards enhancing accessibility and affordability, a critical facilitator for the flourishing tourism and travel industry.
If you really look at the price of a ticket, almost 50% of it is all these fuel surcharges, taxes, etc. So we need to see this coming down. We need to see the cost of parking, landing, navigation within the continent coming down. The past year has been very exciting for Rwanda Air. As I mentioned, just like the other airlines, we're really recovering from COVID, so we've seen strong growth this year. It was exciting in terms of us acquiring additional aircraft. We opened our Paris route this year. So we're very happy about the progress that the airline has made. We're looking forward to opening up additional routes in the coming year, and especially African routes. We really want to grow our African network.
And where do we want to go in the future? We want to maintain our position, first of all. We want to continue hosting greater, bigger events. There is a popular hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Rwanda Works. Indeed, Rwanda Works.